نہیں آپ دیکھیں جو چیز ہمیں نہیں سمجھ آتی ہے. اب سپوز ایک میں نیا ٹرم استعمال کر دیتا ہوں, میں کل کو آئین بدل دیتا ہوں, اس میں لکھ دیتا ہوں پارلیمنٹیرینز مسٹ بی انٹیلیجنٹ. ٹھیک ہے, فیئر انف. کون ڈٹرمن کرے گا؟ کورٹ آف لا کرے گی؟ کر ہی نہیں سکتی ہے. میں یہ آپ کو کہہ رہا ہوں, میرے حساب سے یہ کوئی چیز بھی کوئی کورٹ نہیں ڈٹرمن کر سکتی, بیکاز یہ ان کے زمرے میں آتا ہی نہیں ہے. کورٹ ڈیل وتھ ناٹ فلسافیکل کانسیپٹس, کورٹ ڈیل وتھ ٹینجبل تھنگس. ہاؤ کین یو ڈٹرمن سم اٹس ا ویریبل پرسن میں بی honest today, dishonest tomorrow, honest today, dishonest tomorrow. انہوں نے کر لیا, چلیے گڈ لک. Sorry, میرے حساب سے I am reading more and more social judgment and I find that the answer, you cannot answer these questions. Every question is answered. Some are answered the hereafter. Some are answered, okay, if I take a vote today,
the legislation should have thought that there's a Rasak Khukwani raising all these questions. They should have explained, we get such a declaration, how do we do it, what's the procedure as it mentions, but all these things are missing. So, I mean, we can't even get to the second question if we want to take it head on, unless we can come up with some sort of a sandwich definition of a
جواب میں یہ کہہ سکتا ہوں, کل شاید پارلیمان کرنے دیں ان کو اپنا کام.
Fair enough. So I'm just saying that even if we were not to address this head on and come up with some sort of a sandwiched answer to a declaratory order or whatever, a declaration, it will lead to problems for the future again.
Now, at the end of the day, we have to establish one thing once and for all. Do you believe not just in election?
سپریم کورٹ میں 7 رکنی بینچ سیاسی جو لوگ ہیں, سیاسی رہنما ہیں, ان کی تاحیات اہلی کیس کی سماعت کر رہا ہے, جس میں اسحاق اقوانی کیس کا حوالہ کو ڈیٹیل سے ڈسکس کیا جا رہا ہے.
Parliamentarians will come, they will make a law saying this will be a lifetime ban, then we can consider its constitutionality. Our role should only be not to fill in the constitutional gaps if there are any. Our role should only be that to examine legislation, does it accord with the Constitution? And I would go back, I may not even agree with Parliament, but I will keep quiet about it. As a voter, I may do something else. So why are we getting bogged down in this business? Why are we doing this job?
So if I may just address both of these questions, observation and questions. The declaration under 62(1)(f) has to be by a court of law, acting under a law or several laws. The law has to provide for which court will have to give that declaration, and then, of course, the entire process, including who will have the locus standi and the standard of proof which would be required for such declarations. Now, what Section 232 does is, and stops midway, is that it says that the procedure, manner, and duration of qualifications and disqualifications will be such as is provided under 62 and 63, and where there is no procedure, manner provided, it will be such as is
The
provided.
legislature is actually not addressing that.
Now, this declaration question has been left
it is
open
not the answer
and
of
has not
your
been
first-
addressed.
It's not addressing the
It
question.
is not.
It is not
Now,
the
what
answer of your first
what it
submission.
does is, it says that whenever that declaration comes out, the effect of that declaration would be for 5 years.
That's it.
That's the only thing it does.
How that will come out?
Yes.
Will be come out.
So
I wish the wording was that the declaration is for that period.
Yeah, I
It doesn't say
appreciate-
that, but that's a separate
read-
issue.
read out-
But I
read
think
down
that's a
kar sakte hain.
secondary issue. The main issue is, what do we do? I mean, we can't even say that this legislation has come up with an answer either.
So,
Declaration subject to due process of law, ये लिखा हुआ है।
जी, वो due process of law, and then it says that the disqualification shall not exceed 5 years from the date of declaration.
I'll tell you what Parliament did.
Parliament has
उन्होंने कहा हम इसको बस छोड़ो, इस बहस में पढ़ो नहीं, 5 साल कर दो, खत्म. That's in a nutshell what Parliament did. अब we can't tell Parliament to craft a law this way, because in my mind this is the best way to proceed. This is their job. Our job is another job. Is it unconstitutional?
My lord.
The one proposition was put forward: do not touch upon 232. You may need to touch upon 232 at another juncture. I'm just speaking aloud for myself, I tend to agree with that. Nobody has challenged it. We assume it's okay till someone comes and attacks it. Maybe it's a very good attack. I don't know. Maybe they say, 5 saal bhi kyun? I don't know. Let's leave all these things. The fact is, someone has applied their mind and made a law. And that law specifically mentions all judgments of any courts. So that law has shown us respect in the sense that they have just, like my Honorable Justice Afridi has said, for the not lifetime thing. So they've kind of brought it about by this legislation 5 years over. अब ये बहस किसी और दिन के लिए रखेंगे हम, अगर जरूरत पड़ेगी या नहीं.
ये ठीक है. And then also this
Where do we take
important
the
question.
declaration? What do we say about declaration?
Now,
It seems that at the time of Samiullah, the court was pushed to do the work of the parliament. And now again it is being presumed that we will do the work of the parliament.
And court has not said for the permanent disqualification, it is only as long as the declaration will remain in field. Again, I will put you this question, why the section 232 cannot fix the period of that declaration?
it can, sir. Because, and I respond to
Then there
this.
is no
It can, sir,
inconsistency between the Samiullah and the Act.
Because 62(1)(f) has two components. One is this cause of this disqualification. This cause of this disqualification, and cause of disqualification is a declaration by court of law. So this declaration or this cause is rooted in law, resulting in a declaration by a court of law, and the consequence is constitutional, which is a person stands disqualified. Now, what the Parliament has done is it has limited and placed a certain limitation upon the cause, the declaration. The consequence stays where it is. Now, the
Declaration means the disqualification will remain in field for 5 years.
in this case,
According to
5 years.
Section 232.
Yes. Yes. And if, for example, if there was no 232(2) and Samiullah is overturned, then the disqualification would only be for that election. For that particular election, which is declared either void or a person is de-seated based on that declaration. He would become eligible after if Samiullah is overturned. But this law then places a certain limitation. It gives longevity to that declaration of 5 years, which, to my mind, my lord, Parliament in its wisdom thought that if under 63(1)(h) we had provided 5 years at that time, then because this declaration is coming under a law and for that constitutional amendment is not required, it is only perhaps fair that we give a cooling off period of 5 years.
So what is the procedure to deal disqualification under section 6, under Article 63?
Sir, now when a declaration is come and if the question arises, a person has become disqualified, then chairman or the speaker under clause 2, the question
That is
goes to them and
provided
then they refer to election commission.
Under sub-article 2 and sub-article 3.
That's right, sir.
Article
That's right,
63.
sir. That's right, sir.
Mr. Ji, Article 62 1F says court of law. Whether criminal court is not court of law, and why in Samiullah Baloch it was restricted only to civil court.
जी नहीं हो सकता मेरा ख्याल है अब पार्लियामेंट उसका क्या फैसला करती है वो पार्लियामेंट ने उसका एड्रेस करना होगा बट और अनलेस माय लॉर्ड्स आर माइंडेड टू होल्ड बट इन माय रिस्पेक्टफुल सबमिशन इट कुड बी बोथ।
इस वक्त समाअत जारी है, आगे बढ़ेंगे। आपको बताएं साल 2023 गुजर गया लेकिन कराची में अमन व अमान की सूरत हाल बेहतर ना हो सकी। कराची पुलिस के स्ट्रीट क्राइम्स कंट्रोल करने के दावे अधूरे ही रहे। शहरी आए